Well, welcome to a very spooky News Game Plus. It's Halloween. I'm Dermie, and I'm here with New Game Plus executive producer Jason
Oh,
O'Goulihan.
Jesus. That was really, you built up for that, did you? Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like the old Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. They changed all the names.
I couldn't think of one for me. I just went with Dermie. I was going to do Dermie, but yeah, it's Halloween
I'll say
tonight.
McDermott.
Well, can we start again?
No, it's
Because
all right.
no,
It's
I
all
can
right.
do it better.
You can't steal my good stuff. It's fine. I'll save that for later.
No, it's actually, do you know Halloween is Ava Chris Tyson's favorite day of the year?
I don't know
Uh,
who that is.
all the kids just come to a door and don't have to be promised a spot on Mr. Beast
Mr.
videos.
B. Got it. Yeah, okay. I mean that's a George Pell joke at some point, surely. That's recycled. That is recycled fodder.
Oh, come on, that was good. So yeah, well, you can probably use it with any pedo,
Yeah.
alleged.
Alleged. Cover yourself. They
And,
got the lawyers still.
uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, anyway, what was I doing? Yeah, news. Well, first, I have to always open. What are you playing at the moment?
Monster Hunter Wilds beta is on at the moment, which is basically the first area of the game, and a lot of the basic systems are involved. So the changes to all the weapons. There's like four, five monsters you can hunt. Four. And so it's one of the higher level ones, and then a bunch of the smaller ones. Um, the changes to the weapons are nice for those listening who have played Monster Hunter. The changes are really, really good. Charge Blade requires a lot more charging your files. Lance has more offensive options, like Lance is going to become an elemental weapon, just based on how it works. And then, yeah, a lot of the changes they made are really good quality of life changes. I'm really enjoying it. You get to ride a chocobo now, and the chocobo, you can change weapons straight from the chocobo. So if say you want to just keep out there hunting, you can just literally jump on the chocobo, press one button, and you've changed your weapon, which was always one of the pains. You had to go back to base and do the whole rigmarole and blah blah blah. So yeah, the chocobo can carry stuff there as well. So yeah, so it's good.
That was Mr. Beast calling the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
In the
I
background there.
though sometimes I like the connectivity Apple has, and it does let you decide whether it wants to be too smart for its own good. But sometimes I also just want it to fuck off. Like,
And
yeah,
now Steve Jobs is going to call. No, who's in charge now? The other guy.
Tim Apple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jobs turned into a carrot.
And then Helldivers has the new
Yeah,
pack
no.
coming out. Yeah.
No, I had my little boy came down the other night during his year 12's exam studies. Dad, there's a thing on Helldivers. I have to log in today to get. Can I log in, please, Dad?
Yeah,
Can I
yeah.
come, please? All right, 10 minutes.
And so it's the rifle that you get is like, you know how they do like the Americans do it, like the rifles that the National Guardsmen and stuff, when they march and stuff, when they do like processions and stuff. It's those specific rifles,
Okay.
and it's like that. It's 100% riffing on that. So it's a single shot bolt action with a single kind of down the sight, like iron sights. But it's got a melee bayonet on the end.
What is the new mob in Helldivers Presidents?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a single shot bolt actions.
The new mob yeah. Okay.
Open top
I
cars.
mean, yeah. There's no scope on it. Like, yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't that good a shot. But but yeah, no. It's so I get why you want to do it, because you get the free armor and you get the free gun. So I know why you want. And then the new battle pass drops. I think tomorrow now. It'll be tomorrow at
I was
this point.
actually very happy with him for not just doing it. He probably did do it. He just wanted.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ask forgiveness. Yeah, yeah.
So
What about? I mean, you playing anything besides your Evercade?
yeah, well, I actually got Commodore 64 games going really nicely on it because
Yeah.
it ran them, but I previously had trouble getting running. And then I discovered, because I like my homebrew stuff, I like
Yeah.
my Modern Retro, and I found there's a developer makes. Oh, I should have written it down. I'll credit them next week. Makes like Pac-Man and Dig Dug and that with procedurally generated levels.
Yeah.
So I know you can do it in new games, but it's a lot of fun. So Lady Pack and Random Pack are the ones I've been playing a lot of, which are just random Pac-Man mazes.
So that I guess that's like the old school version of like Pac-Man 256 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So I've been playing that. There are a bunch of other ones. So basically, just a whole heap of homebrew Commodore 64 stuff. Trying to get Tempest 5200 version going.
Yeah.
But everyone's using the prototype ROM. But anyway, anyone listeners know what I'm talking about there. But so yeah, but still Evercade stuff. I'm still really enjoying the modern retro and the homebrew scene
Yeah.
on those old consoles. I'm just hooked on that at the moment for some reason. I don't know what it is. It just tickles a part of my brain, and I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
really enjoying it. So anyway, so let's do some gaming news. What we got? Well, you got that one over very quick. You weren't upset with
Yeah,
anybody in
that's fine.
Helldivers.
No,
That's
no, no. I mean, all the brain deads. Like, there is definitely a level jump. So I'll go.
did I mention unions or something
But
just to trick you?
between level 5 and level 6, that's where you can see like the real casual players play level 5, and then level 6 goes up, and then the hardcores go up from there. 7, 8, 9, 10. Like 10 of the hardcore ones who it's all meta sets. If you don't have a meta set, they'll kick you. Blah blah blah. And I mean, I've got every meta weapon, but I just play my way. And my way is good for like working with a team. None of them want to work with a team. They all want to be one man armies, and that's the annoying part of it. That's why I was annoyed with when they reverted the nerfs, because the nerfs stopped you from being one man army. Now they've kind of let them go back, but they've also just buffed the enemies in a particular way. Like they've lots more enemies on the screen and stuff. Even if they're easy to kill, you can still get blown up or killed or whatever. I mean, the main thing you die from is explosions from big stuff.
Yeah, teamwork's down.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently so. All right, cool. It's a little bit of gaming news. Firstly, one that made me sad. Minecraft VR is being turned off
Oh,
next
really?
year. Yeah, they decided it's not worth supporting it. Not enough players. I really do like Minecraft in VR. It is fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of hardish to play, but it's nice when you build a house to just walk around it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about that appealed to me. But
But
I
VR's so niche. I mean, this is the thing.
yeah, there's actually towards the end because I was going to go with another. Who was it? Oh, yeah, and I should remember this. Trip Hawkins. Jesus, Matty will be. Matty will be pissed me for not remember his name. He talked a little bit about VR, so I'll get to that later. But VR Minecraft's been turned off. The studio that made Concord, probably no surprise, has been shut down
Yes.
by Sony.
Yeah.
I hope they didn't just wreck the devs who were just doing their job. I feel bad for them, and I hope whoever greenlit it and whoever
Got the
set the
after.
thing,
Yeah.
I hope they did as well and
Yeah.
didn't get some sort of golden parachute or a big bonus.
So
We can't just take this out on the devs. They did their job.
yeah, so Shriya announced that Sony had spent 200 million, and that's not including the purchase of the studio and anything beforehand. So the idea is they bought the Firemount or something like that, isn't it, or Firewalk or something?
Firewalk, yeah, yeah.
So they bought them midway through development of Concord, and rumor has it that they'd already put in hundreds of millions at that point as well. So that's why you hear the rumors of 400 million
Okay.
from the thing. So yeah, so it's a lot of money to waste. And I mean, you think about what they could imagine what you could have if you'd given the Helldivers devs, 10 million of that. Imagine what they could have continued to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
a lot of money gets thrown away. I talked about it with the purchases of studios, but a lot of money's getting thrown away that looks
Yeah.
like it's just disappearing. It looks like laundering to
Yeah.
some degree. It's like Steven Seagal movies at this point.
Yeah,
Could I add an allegedly to that?
I mean,
He's in
yeah,
Russia.
yeah,
He's
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
to get drones.
Well, I mean, Google just got fined $2 decillion in Russia.
Yeah, a
So,
number that's
yeah,
bigger than all the money in the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just trolling.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're expecting the US currency to just tank so
Yeah.
badly that that's going to
Yeah, I
Zimbabwe dollars.
I don't think it goes off a cliff that hard. It's still.
Well, I've got $100 trillion Zimbabwe note.
Yeah, yeah. Did I give it to you or someone else give it to
No,
you?
my friend Mark. You know Mark.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about it once on Facebook.
I do know Mark. He was the one who convinced me to get a Steam Deck for what it's worth.
Really? No,
Yeah.
Mark's good. He sent me one to me. I was talking about Facebook. He just popped one in the mail and sent it to me. I don't know where he got them from.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, $100 trillion Zimbabwe, which is I think last I looked
It
was
was like 0.006 or something.
no, it was like $3.65
Oh,
or something.
yeah,
For some
yeah.
reason it's probably different now.
Yeah, at the fall of when Zimbabwe crashed, it was all American dollars as usual.
So I think the Russians are actually expecting the US currency to tank when China finally gets rid of the remaining ones, and they think that 20 what is it
Yeah,
zillion dollars.
yeah,
It's like they got a 9-year-old to make up the number.
yeah.
How much do you think we should find them?
Just keep writing zeros.
100 million billion
I mean,
gazillion infinity
it
plus one.
It would have been funny if they find them a Google million. Do you know, like a Google dollar?
Yeah, because people don't know Google is actually a number.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
what is like 100 million? No, that's like 100 trillion quadrillion or something like that. Like,
yeah, it's how much Microsoft's put aside for their next studio purchase. So,
yeah, it's how much Activision's going to get sold for. Yeah,
yeah.
in Zimbabwe
I
dollars.
told you those dungeons are
Yeah,
high demand. It's either that or an island, and they're everyone's onto that one.
Yeah. Everyone's picked up the trick there.
Yeah, or P Diddy.
Is the next one?
Luke
Yeah,
Buddy.
yeah.
Now Jackbox is releasing real life board games, which is
Oh,
the
that's
opposite of what
interesting.
normally happens.
Well, because normally they don't want to say they copy because they don't. They have to make it digital, but they definitely take a lot of concepts like Mafia and stuff like that and turn it into video game sphere kind of stuff. So that's interesting.
Yeah, so faking it is the one I saw.
Yeah.
It's in USA and Canada, but that won't matter because you can just get everything
Yeah,
everywhere now.
whatever.
But yeah, it's funny how they do that now. We're releasing in this country. You go, yeah, you guys haven't worked out how
Yeah.
the globe works.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So,
so
so someone puts it on their Shopify store, I guarantee I'll get it in Australia. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So Jackbox has gone IRL
Yeah.
basically.
Well, we had an interview with them at PAX recently. That should hopefully go up soon.
Oh,
With
awesome.
a wink and a nudge
Yeah,
from Mr. Jack Renanen. But yeah, I was talking to the guy and
Jack and Jackbox.
we were talking about how they've just released the adult version. They released 9 like last year and stuff like that. So yeah, it was
Yeah,
good interview.
Jackbox games are fun,
Yeah.
especially Drawful. I still like playing. That comes as a standalone on Switch, which is
Yes.
always fun.
Yeah, so that you can buy Drawful, Quibbitch, and Fibbage and what's that? Quiplash in the 3-pack, and that's a really good 3-pack. Even if
Yeah.
they're the 3 you have, any of your normie friends are going to be entertained. Like it's
Yeah, no, that's good. I remember
some of the high concept ones you have to spend a bit more time investing in.
yeah, I remember the old Don't Know Jack. I used to play that years and years and
My
years
favorite
ago.
one is Trivia Murder Party. I say that to everyone. But basically, it's you're locked in a saw kind of basement. You have to answer questions, and it just advances your ability to get ahead. You have to know a little bit of American stuff, but yeah.
To make a tremendous escape
Yeah,
route.
well,
They should make a series
one of the
about it.
things is if you get one of the questions wrong, you have to chop off a finger.
Oh
So
yeah.
of the 4, so you get 4 choices, but whatever finger you chop off, you can no longer pick that option. So let's say you've got A, B, C, D,
Yeah.
and you chop off your ring finger, you can't pick C anymore. So it can screw. You've got to pick strategically, or as strategically as you think you can. So
No,
yeah.
I'm always a fan of permadeath modes in games.
I actually won a game of Trivia Murder Party while I was at work, and I couldn't even see the screen, so I was only answering the questions that were on my phone, and I still won. And the guys will never live that down. They're all plebs.
Yeah, that was silly. All right, cool. A little bit of Nintendo stuff. 2 Nintendo things. We'll start with Pocket Camp.
Yes.
Pocket. My lovely wife was complaining the other day. It wants me to spend $2 to buy it. And I'm like, calm down. It's going. It's going to a paid model instead of a free to play and trying to milk you through microtransactions. I don't know what she spends on any
Yeah, yeah.
microtransactions, but yeah. So Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, the offline version is coming in December.
Yeah.
And you can transfer all your stuff over. So get on if you're on it. Get on now and transfer your stuff over. I didn't write down how to do that, but
Yeah.
they'll be there.
There's a
So,
process. I mean, it's,
yeah.
it's the same when you do your camps on Switch or whatever. There is a process you have to follow. Basically, you have to send it to the cloud and then reinstall it on your new Switch and stuff like that. It's a whole process.
Hopefully, it's a lot better than when you transfer. You used to have to when you transferred Pokemon from Pokemon
Yeah.
Go to the Wii U version of
Yeah.
the Pokemon game, and we did that, and it ate my son's Ditto, and he never went back and played it ever
Nice.
again.
Yeah.
So annoyed. He made me even email. Who was the one? He's the one that makes Pokemon Go.
Creatures.
It,
Game freak.
yeah, so he actually got me an email, but they never responded.
Yeah.
Because his Ditto got eaten, so
Dear,
he's
dear,
never
dear
got
guys, you go fuck yourself.
back.
Signed, Game
Yeah,
Freak.
yeah, well, my wife and daughter have got like 300 Dittos in their Pokemon Go, so, but you know, went back. Anyway, so where am I going? Nintendo now. Spotify, sell your Spotify shares because it's history. It's we should get the podcast on this thing. New Nintendo Music app. Have you downloaded that yet?
No, I haven't. But
Oh,
so this is
I was playing with it today. It's fantastic.
they did this for Smash Brothers on what's that thing 3DS. Basically, you could put on jukebox mode or whatever they called it, and you could play with the screens down, and it would just play the music out of the ports.
Mm.
And it was really handy. Like it was really you could just literally sit there and use it as like through your speakers.
It's doing what YouTube won't do on your phone.
Yeah, just randomize it. Just whatever.
Play
And
the
so
screen off.
that was always one reason to keep your 3DS around. I've still got my
Hey, you keep it
3DS.
for the puzzles. I told you the puzzles.
You and your
The
you
3DS
and your
is
Street
all about the.
Masters.
Oh, I love the puzzle. I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
no one is quite Kirsty to you. That's I mean
No, I
we're
remember
allowed to
that.
discuss the
I
war.
had like
Yeah.
I had like 20 something puzzles. I was all excited. I was collecting them, and I remember she showed me the 3DS. She had like 5,000
Yeah,
puzzles. What
yeah,
the hell?
yeah.
And it keeps adding more. So, and every time I'd almost complete it, add another one. But I couldn't believe how many puzzles there actually are. But why isn't that on the why is that on the Switch? Because that was fantastic.
I mean,
It's
this
so
is
much fun.
that thing, right? I mean, it was the same with Picto Chat on the original DS. I love
Oh,
Picto
Picto
Chat.
Chat,
Yeah,
yeah. When my kids were really young, they used to sit in their bedrooms and just message to each other,
yeah,
like when they were like 3 or 4 years old, and
yeah.
laugh their heads
And
off. And
like I feel like this is one of those things where I'm seeing more and more. Like there was a story I saw the other day of a bunch of New York teens who are calling themselves the modern Luddites or the Luddite Society or something like that, and they're basically all on flip phones. They all just go to the park every Sunday and catch up and stuff like that. And I'm like, I think that's good because the one thing we definitely haven't done for the Gen Zs is socialize our kids well enough. But um, Yeah, I think with the advent of modern technology and stuff like that, it kind of makes that stuff fall by the wayside. But I don't know, there's a certain charm to it where it was just jump into a room, blah blah blah. But I guess it's we got to protect kids. That was the same when they had what was it, the postal stuff on
Oh no,
3DS.
you don't give picto chat to anyone who's like older
Yeah,
because it's gonna be dicks,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
But I mean, picto chat, Nintendogs,
yeah.
the puzzle things. There's a few things
Yeah, you had
Nintendo just
there was
you've
the mail one as
forgotten.
well on 3DS, and you could send mail through
Oh yep.
the 3DS's network and stuff like that, and it was only for 3DS. And I don't know, Nintendo do a lot of these cute little things, and then they just abandon
Just
them
forget
by the
about yeah.
wayside. Yeah,
They're almost Microsoft the way they just forget about the
yeah, but I mean, yeah, when you're still making games that are multi-million sellers, like I mean, you still have to buy what are those things tickets. You're always better off buying the vouchers to buy Nintendo branded games because they just hold value.
yeah.
Like
Well,
yeah, so if you buy the two of them for what is it, $135 or whatever, brings it down to about $72 a pop or something like $67 a pop or something
everything
like
they
that.
do prints money. Yeah, but the Nintendo Music app, it's like a little Spotify, and you load it up,
Yeah,
and it's got playlists of different moods and everything. And it's music from all their games, so you
and
can
it's
play.
also the Wii U music, which is what everyone will actually
Yeah,
need
it's
to
like
get
you
that up.
can pretend you're watching a YouTube
Bum,
video
bum,
from
bum,
about
bum,
10 years ago. But
bum,
the
bum.
but it's really cool. They're going to add more. It sounds to me like the music's all been remastered because it
Yeah,
sounded a lot clearer than what you get out of like a Switch, say.
yeah,
So it was pretty good quality. Already, I think my daughter's left it on for background music while she's studying for her exams. But yeah, Nintendo Music app is free. Grab it. You'll need your Nintendo account to download it or to start it. But you can just go through and then just have a look at Animal Crossing, Splatoon, any game Zelda, any of the Nintendo games that'll have a lot of music from it. Some of the songs you can even say effectively loop or graciously loop for like an hour.
yeah.
So you
Because
just
they're
leave it
used to it. Yeah,
running.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because they do it in games, right? But it's just it's something that I never thought I'd ever use,
Mm.
but it's really
Well,
cool.
that's one of those things with Animal Crossing, right? Is depending on the time of day, depending on the season, there's different songs. So
Yeah.
certain hours attract certain songs, and the nighttime the music's more chilled, during the day it's a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more boppy and stuff like that. So, I mean, they always do that kind of stuff. There's always that attention to detail.
Oh yeah, they got moods. So if you got a mood where you're feeling chirpy or you're feeling or you want to get motivated,
Yeah,
they've got little moods for the music from the games to do it. It's just, I never thought if you had told me yesterday, I
yeah,
would have gone, well, that's a weird idea. And now I downloaded it today and had a
yeah,
little play with it on my kid's phone. I loved it. I thought it was really cute.
yeah.
Um,
That's the kind of thing Nintendo still does. I mean, even with the watch and the clock and stuff like that, is they still go, oh, we still do other silly stuff sometimes. You know what I mean? And just remind you why. They have that place. I mean, good luck trying to get one because they all got scalped almost
the clogs,
immediately.
yeah.
Yeah,
But game music, you know how they have the orchestra performances of game music, so that's a thing. Like I think there's a Melbourne Orchestra does Final Fantasy music every so often, and
yeah. That was just before PAX.
yeah.
We got for what it's worth, and this might interest your kids. Next week, it's Joe Hisaishi, who's the guy who does all the Ghibli music.
Oh well,
And so
I
that's
know
the
one that will be
yeah,
excited by
that's at
that.
the recital center.
Although next week's another exam
Yeah, I
week,
was
so
saying, well,
ooh,
November 15th is Jimmy's if you want to go as well. So
okay, let me offline. Let's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
take that offline because I know some that will be interested. Now I've got three stories now, which are no interesting. Let's go to the first one. Do you know who you remember Glenn Beck,
Yes,
conservative
the
guy?
Fox guy. Yeah.
Okay, well he said he's banned his daughters from dating gamers. Which works because my experience with daughters is that they'll do exactly what their dad says. so
I went to a Catholic high school, is all I will say.
so he
And
said,
strict fathers were always a boon.
well, the reason you're gonna like the reason, right? So he said in quote, I wouldn't allow my daughter to date. Man, can I do a Glenn Beck voice? A spooky voice. I wouldn't allow my no, I wouldn't allow my daughter to date a man who I wouldn't allow my daughter to date a man who collects figurines either. He said both hobbies are, quote, weakening what it means to be a man.
I mean, this is Glenn Beck, conservative commentator who sits at a desk with a shirt and tie, who's never worked a single day in his life, wouldn't know what a callus looked like. Just saying, right? Like,
He would, but not that way.
yeah.
Now,
When mistress tells him it's okay to put ointment on it, yeah.
well, anyway, now his reasoning. This is good. I think you like this. He's actually reasoning is it's a conspiracy theory about people like Zuckerberg who are trying to capture all the males, weaken them, and put them into a world like Ready Player One, so that they will be basically just disabled.
Definitely true.
That's his reasoning. So
I mean,
that's even worse than just hating
it's
games.
funny with Zuckerberg, right? Because you look up Zuckerberg, and he's killing goats on his island by himself, like he's doing it by hand to think. He's training MMA. He's going full
He was going to
survival.
fight Elon Musk, and
Yeah.
Elon Musk went, "Nah, maybe not."
Zuck would have killed him. Like Elon's got the size on him, but
Now
Zuck would have
that
absolutely
is
murdered
don't
him.
mess with the Zohan. You
Yeah,
start fighting with
yeah.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got that robot strength, like that android strength. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, are you bionic?
yeah.
No, I like women, but I appreciate it. Yeah. No, so that's a line from a movie. Now another interesting. I'm going for some Australian stories this time. The United Nations. I got to read this. The United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women has expressed concerns about Japanese media and its impact on gender and sex-based
Oh,
violence.
here we go.
Are we doing the racism against Asian thing again? Because I know Japanese media can have some weird shit, right?
Look, and this is always the problem for me is there are there are always you can look at stuff and say that's a bit too beyond the pale, and I think more than anything else you have to acknowledge things inside its context. Like off air we were discussing how the media's gone in on Tony Hinchcliffe at that abominable Trump rally.
Yeah, but I find him funny.
Well, I don't. I find him.
I think he's
I
hilarious.
find him about as
But
funny
then John Stewart finds him funny too. So I'm Team John Stewart on this one.
Right. Well, but more the point is they've gone in on the insult comic as opposed to all of the quote unquote statesmen, former mayors,
Yeah.
who were just saying these vile, putrid crap. But they've gone in on the comedian, and I feel like if it's that thing of if it's a knowing wink to the audience, it matters less than if it's a hey, we're just homogenizing standards for the community.
Getting upset over an edgy comedian is lame.
Yes, I agree.
Mind you, talking spooky. Let's start with
Here we go.
spooky. I mean, we're spooky is next Tuesday when we see the season finale of America.
Yeah. The South Park episode. It's like the season finale of Earth. Like, yeah. But yeah, no, I feel like again, a lot of you can always say, hey, I can appreciate a culture for this, and I can also look at it and say these things I'm not a huge fan of, but it kind of is what it is, and I think
it's cute because all the porn in the world comes out of America.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah.
It's all run out. There's actually one building in America where like 99% of it comes out of
totally,
porn and everything, right? So they've got a big porn industry. I'd see it as more. There's always this edgy, racist sort of trope about Japanese stuff. Now, not saying Japan's perfect; it has its problems. But on the other hand, some of the anime, I know my daughter's a big anime watcher, and it has characters of female who handle themselves quite well.
Yeah.
So it appears to me most of the stuff I've seen seems pretty run of the mill.
Yeah, I could say you can always say it's lame and tropey. Like like anything, any story can be written well enough that you don't notice it. It's like I say with a lot of representation issues. Write a good character. No one really cares if they're gay. Do you know what I mean? Like no, like it's one of those things where it's like it's still a human experience. You can still understand it from that human level. And if it's
I didn't even write down the thing about Dragon Age.
Yeah.
That was cringe.
Yeah.
Apologies to cringy.
Yeah,
to say cringe.
It's
It
written
was
no,
cringe.
but if it's written well, like anything, if it's written well,
Cringy as hell.
yeah, if it's written well, you can get away with it. But I don't know. I just feel like the rhetoric around it, like
And I'm playing a game. Don't waste my time with that. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good cause or anything, but you've seen the video, haven't you? That's doing the rounds of Dragon Age. Oh, okay.
I know that a lot of it is like written like South Californian leads, but I complained about this in Crackdown too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's just I'm playing a game. I don't have a lot of time. Don't waste my time. You'll see the video after. You might. But anyway, that's a sidetrack. Okay. Now I was wondering about this because yes, not saying Japan's perfect. It has its problems, mind you. When we were there were one thing I did notice was middle of the night, and you see women walking home from work, and that didn't seem bothered or anything. I thought that's not a bad sign. Now I looked up rape stats because one night I won't go on a watch list.
I mean, your Google history is already fucked.
Yeah, I was curious about this. So anyway, per 100,000 people, the worst place in the world to be is Grenada.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a few of the worst places in the world to be have been places. Maybe
The
coincidentally,
Americans,
the Yanks have intervened in.
yeah.
Um,
Funny
so
that.
153 point something per 100,000.
Jesus, that's brutal. That's
The UK is 52. The US is 41. Now this is I know there's issues reporting and that,
yes,
and
yes.
that's fair. I'm not going to I don't want to cheap anything. I'm just doing a comparison. France is 25. Australia's stats I couldn't find. Japan's reported stats are 1.11 per 100,000
Which
people, which is pretty low.
I would say, unrealistically low. If I'm being honest, like
Well, actually,
10 in
Saudi Arabia's was 0.01, and
yeah,
we
you're
know
right.
we know why they
Yeah,
don't report it there
exactly.
because it's anyway.
Yeah,
So
'cause yeah. I
that's
think,
adultery.
but again, this is what I mean. There is a nuanced conversation there to be had. Is it's like, so, yeah, and especially when you talk about the crime rate, like the Japanese crime rate for what it's worth. Obviously, very rarely you're not going to get accosted in the street. It's very rare. You know, like
It's a very
lot of
safe place to run around.
yes, but at the same time, the
I mean, we say that by the way as reasonably large white
yeah,
guys.
who aren't going to go,
So
yeah.
yeah, so but
People go and start trouble after they get into trouble. So,
yeah,
but like
unless you walk past Russians
Russian
and
Robin
they
an
take the
ATM,
piss like
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, but like I think with Japan, like the lawyers will only take on
Ask us
cases.
about that off stream.
Yeah, the lawyers will only take on cases they know they can win. So they've got a 97% clearance rate, right? Because they know they're only going to do it. But at the same time, if you're in for questioning, I think you can be put in for 28 days
Yeah,
without
and
the
then
lawyer.
they can re put you in again,
Yeah,
so almost indefinitely.
they'll get you for another. They'll basically reissue the weird
Anyway,
transfer.
allowing for those numbers to be out by a bit, right?
Yeah,
So they're just reported, and I get the argument is that well most aren't reported. That's a thing, right? But I would have said if you're going to single out Japan for their media
yeah,
and so and yeah, it's a little bit like well I'd want to see at least the reported crimes of that nature to be a bit higher if you're going
yeah,
to be throwing there when America is the source of 99% of the world's pornography, right?
yeah.
So I think that's to me that's another anti-Asian racist trope that people fall for, and you see the worst of it, and there is bad. That's no denying that. But and if there's rapes, it's all most of them are probably around U.S. military bases where
I mean, that
they're
goes. I
rapey
didn't
as
want to
fuck
say that.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
They're
the conquering forces, like yeah.
if you get raped or assaulted in Japan, it's probably around a US military base.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
One work there,
allegedly.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see if your phone goes
Yeah,
off
we'll get a
again.
fucking drone strike. Yeah.
I
There's
can hear,
No Afghan weddings here. No Afghan weddings
I
here.
can hear something flying
Yeah.
overhead.
What's that? Is that an Obama speech I can hear? Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, so yeah, although I just brought that up as part of my crusade against the
Yeah.
anti-Asian
Yeah.
racism. You're seeing a lot of media, but
Yeah.
UN's playing it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, it is interesting, and I think there's an expectation because Japan is part of what you would consider the first world. It's a G7 country. All those kind of things are true. So there's an expectation to be held to a better standard. I mean, I've always hated that comparison when they say, "Well, yeah, you're going to get less. You're more likely to be raped in Saudi Arabia or killed in Saudi Arabia." I'm like, yeah. So we're comparing it to the worst. Like we're saying we're better than the worst one. That's not how we should be looking. We should be looking at OECD nations and going, how can we continue to raise our results against these nations that we consider to be quote unquote developed.
Yeah.
So like I say,
And Japan would be considered a developed nation by
absolutely,
any measure.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and I mean, and this is like I say,
Not to go Asmongold, but some other
there's
places aren't necessarily as developed.
going to get us into trouble again. Like so, but that is where like again, I think there's a nuanced conversation we had or anything, but then Twitter or somewhere will get a hold of it, and now suddenly the nuance is dead. So
No, I think it's just part to me. It's part of the anti-Asian racist tropes. But anyway,
yeah, I agree.
now on a totally different, I'm going to jump right off
Yeah.
this topic onto something completely nothing to do with
Something
rapes,
completely different.
rape, sexual assaults. I'm just going to get it. The Vatican has unveiled
Are you sure?
what?
Anyway. He started the no sexual assaults. By the way, the Vatican.
What?
Are you sure we've changed topic?
What?
Don't worry.
Anyway, you interrupted me. I'm trying to read here. The Vatican has
You're
unveiled
a good Catholic boy, I know.
is unveiled an anime mascot.
Yes, I did see this. I thought it was a joke. I genuinely thought it was a joke.
So did I.
Yeah. I thought it was 4chan doing its thing, and I'm like, no way. And it's like actual anime mascot. She looks kind of like a nun with blue eyes.
I'm not kidding you. Yeah, it did smell like a 4chan
Yeah.
prank.
She's got the okay
and
hand
look-
up. Like, yeah.
And you know what? I'm not going to totally dismiss the chance that it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm not going to
Yeah,
totally dismiss the
yeah,
chance it is.
yeah.
But apparently, the Vatican is unveiled an anime mascot. It's a little cute girl called Lucy.
Yeah.
I'm going to get this wrong. Means light in Italian. And she's got a bunch of friends. They all look very Sanrio.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, and according to Archbishop,
It's
I'm
50th
gonna.
anniversary for Sanrio today.
Oh really?
Was it today?
Oh,
It
that's
was around, yeah.
spooky. I'll have to, okay, so I'm going to butcher this like man, so apologies to the dude. But according to Archbishop Reno Fisichella, um, he says it. He says the anime character is.
Cala. CH is care. CHE is care.
Yeah, but you can't guarantee that I wrote it correct.
That's
the only
true.
problem.
That is true.
So it's a symbol of the hope of the heart. I thought that was very nice. So an anime, I've gone from one story to the other. I
Yeah.
did put that in for contrast,
Yeah,
but
no, they had a young boy anime character. His hair was parted nicely in the middle. Anyway, um,
but that's horrible
the
jokes.
Catholics are anime washing. That's the world we live in.
Anime
The Saudis are sports washing,
This is
and the Catholics are anime washing.
the
That's
live
the world we
the
live in.
live golf of anime mascots.
The
So,
live golf of anime.
so yeah,
The esports World Cup, the Dream League of.
so the bad.
Anyway,
Where am I? I can't read now. What have I done? It was,
I believe you led with that. Moving away from sexual assault to the Vatican.
I don't know what you're talking about. So where are we
Oh
at?
dear.
Okay, now I'll close it. Where are we at? 31 minutes.
You got a
mate.
while, yeah. We're actually doing a quick one.
We
Yeah.
may, yeah. I've been talking. You know what it is, because I've been trying to eat less sugar, right?
Yeah,
So for the last 2 weeks, I've had hardly. I've been tired the whole time,
yeah,
and of course today being Halloween, we had a whole heap of.
yeah. No,
stuff.
she's
So I
back.
sort of broke my. I just undid 2 weeks of work by scoffing half a
Yeah.
bag of M and M's
I
and a
was-
couple of Freddo frogs.
Must be something. I was really hungry yesterday. I don't know. I ate so much yesterday that it put out my calories for the week. Like that's how bad it was.
I think I just did a month's worth today. So but I'm buzzing, and yeah, there was a scientific study, science, it claimed that little kids getting high on sugar
not real.
isn't real.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did come around like all excited to do my spooky opening, which I
I
really
think
do because I had half a bag of
It's
M&Ms.
like anything. It's you've got the fuel to do it now. If you've got a top fuel drag,
Ooh,
if you've got a top fuel drag car and you're not putting in methane in it, it's not going to run at full capacity. But kids are already hyper, and then you give them sugar.
I haven't.
You give them the fuel they need. They just basically be kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't fueled my drag car with methane since the university day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, where we at? I'm too old to be pulling that stuff. All right, now I'm gonna. This will make Matty G, if he's listening, very happy because I'm gonna say Trip Hawkins. Now last week I did. Who was the Sunny guy again? Leighton, Professor Leighton.
Sean Layden.
Yeah, so Trip Hawkins at the Games First in Helsinki, he had a few quotes about the game industry.
Yeah.
I don't agree with one of them, but we'll get to that later. So he said, right now the game industry has basically, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, has a seriously broken business models that are very frustrating.
Yes, I mean just a statement of
I don't
fact,
think
so
that's, I don't think
that's not a
query.
controversial take. Yeah.
Yeah, so he said 99 of the top selling 100 games are not new. He said they're like variation to COD or Fortnite or their mobile games.
Yep.
He
Also
said
not controversial. Yeah.
he said not many new games break through. Now I did think they can compare that to movies. That's where we're at with movies.
Yes.
So games and even so the games last week we talked about them lacking imagination,
Yeah.
creativity.
Similar. So I'll take that one up a little bit. So I was watching the Red Letter Media guys, one of the very few kind of media outlets actually.
Which ones are they? They're the VCR side.
Yeah.
VCR repairman. Yep.
Yeah, and I was watching, and they brought up a really good point about the Blumhouse movie. So Blumhouse horror basically is made for like $1 million. They put it out at cinemas. They make a solid 10, 15, $20 million, and then that funds their big project. So keep in mind, I think like Blumhouse has done. They did The Purge. They did Insidious. They did a bunch of good horror and thriller movies, right?
Insidious had that scene where he wakes up and the evil thing's sitting next to his bed in the middle of the night.
Pretty sure that's
My
the one.
kids used to do that.
Yeah. Gremlins in the room.
I saw,
Yeah.
saw the ad for that. and then I've woken up one night, my daughter's standing next to my bed just sucking a thumb, just staring at me.
Just fucking bang, slap an elbow, yeah.
Anyway,
but no, so it's very much like there is that model, and I think that's where a lot of Focus Entertainment and these kind of games are doing well because they're like, our budget's $10 million. We
Hmm.
make the game. To make $10 million, we've got to sell 100,000 copies. Let's add marketing onto that. You've got to sell 200, 300,000 copies. You sell 1 million copies of that game. This is EDF as well. Maybe it
Yeah.
costs you a couple of million to make EDF, right? But you sell, keep in mind that games cost you $60 US, right? Let's use US dollars for now. We'll see how we go in 2027. But
20 quadrillion
yeah, 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 yeah. But like, so if you're doing that at $60 a pop and you've spent 10 million making it, you know what I mean? You've only got to sell 300,000 to make that money back. And any reasonable quality game is going to make that much back. It's when you get these Square Enixes, we're like, oh, we sold 5 million copies, but that didn't
Yeah,
hit
shut them down.
expectations. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? Like you've still
Well,
made
that's because
millions of dollars.
every game wants to be a Marvel Avengers sort of
Yeah.
thing, right? Without earning it. Although if you're doing a COD or something, a Call of Duty sequel's gonna have that
Yeah.
sort of bit earned, but
momentum, yeah.
yeah, but
Well,
yes,
COD 6 is out at the moment, and obviously, everyone's talking about like. There's a couple of scenes at least have people chin wagging. It's in the Clinton administration. The last one was during the Reagan administration.
oh, so there's sex scenes.
Yes.
Fantastic. What?
Yeah, it's Duke Nukem, all the cigars everywhere.
The opening scene of
yeah,
Duke Nukem Forever. It's a documentary now.
Who said I need an intern?
Those ugly motherfuckers have stolen my women.
Yeah.
There goes the explicit warning.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were just quoting. That's all quotes. Where are we going? Oh yeah. So movies have got to a point where because they don't have the DVD second wind that they can rely anymore. They got to the point now where if they don't make $1 billion, they are seen as on their side of failure. Where they've got that dodgy ass accounting, which I think is coming into video games.
Yeah,
as well.
even Joker 2 has now made its money back at the very least. So it cost 200 to make. It's made 200. So at the very least, it's not a flop now. It's a flop compared to what they wanted. The first one made $1 billion, but like,
But they don't make that. They don't make those smaller movies that won't make $1 billion. So things like a Shawshank Redemption, right?
Yeah.
One of the most loved movies, at least amongst males, of all time, wouldn't get made because it's not going to make $1 billion. It's not going to appeal to enough.
But this is where horror comes out, right? Like this is where horror has been the thing because it's still such a visceral reaction.
Oh, you can slam them out cheap. You get some cheap actresses that are just trying to find their way in the industry. And a little bit of titillation and that, and that's a formula that worked out.
Yeah.
They're not, and then they also. I don't think with a horror movie there's ever an expectation they're going to make $1 billion.
No, and if it does, it's just so. Terrifier. Have you heard of Terrifier? It's you would have seen it.
I don't play me video. I'm scared.
No. I know you're a bit of a sook for that stuff.
I am. I don't like.
So Terrifier 3. You would have seen maybe the face on like posters or something, right? And it's like the white faced clown and like anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm already a big fan of clowns.
Right. Yeah. So all three of those. The first one was like $1 million budget. Second one was crowdsourced. Third one had a $2 million budget.
Yeah.
It was the #1 movie in America last week. The #1 movie in America last week. So even with the downturn of movie, you think that has to be $100 million. That has to be
so the people making the new Indiana Jones movie, they'd be sitting back just in tears looking at that.
And so they've made that much money, and so this is the thing. That's why that's why Blumhouse came in. That's why A24 came in. They had these small successes, and they said, well, we can turn this into. We can make a movie of moderate success. Like Hereditary is still. I know you don't like horror movies, but Hereditary is phenomenal. Hereditary, I love. It's
I don't even like the ads. It's not my thing.
Hereditary is Tony Collette and Gabriel Byrne. So
if I don't watch horror movies, I'm just going to tune into the ABC's non-stop
coverage of the
broadcast the election.
Coverage of the Queensland election. Yeah, no shit, right? Like,
Queensland is always a horror movie. They're out Florida. They're not doing the right thing by the rest of us.
Yeah.
Mind you, coincidentally, purely a Murdoch state. But anyway, where was it going? Oh, yeah, so movies. So yeah, look, horror movies have that formula worked out. But that second tier movies like your Good Will Hunting and stuff like that, quality stuff. I don't know, you might not like it, but it's but they're just sort of like falling off. And video games are sort of going there now with their little obsession with trying to make a lot. And I think they might be introducing a bit of Hollywood accounting because when they say Concord lost $200 million plus. I do wonder about those numbers, but that's another story. I do wonder how many devs are on it, right? How many developers? Because $200 million can buy a lot of programs and a lot of graphic design.
Well, like let's assume when you're paying them $1 million a year, that's literally 200 programmers. Do you know what I mean? Like 200 people working.
200 programmers, $1 million a year. Yeah. Yeah, and it's probably more than, more than 200.
Let's split that.
Probably pay less than $1 million.
Let's split that over 5 years. That's $200,000 per person, right? Let's make it 400 staff. and you're still looking at $100,000 per person for 5 years. That's every person getting $100,000.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's it's about 130 is the game dev in America,
yeah,
but I'm still it's a lot of money.
yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's a few Hollywood accountings going on, because not many people in the game industry have a job for 5 years,
No,
like in a
unfortunately, yeah.
studio.
Sorry, let's go to your next quote. But yeah, that was
Oh
one
yeah,
thing I
yeah,
wanted
I'm
to take
getting a
up. Is
hurry on
that
him.
there's
29
definitely there's
minutes.
definitely been a shift into that A market, not triple A. Even B, I would say the B games are great now at the moment. There's plenty of B games that you can just buy for $50 and play till your heart's
Well,
content.
I'm playing old modern retro games, so
Yeah,
there's enough for everybody. This is why when people go, I don't like games, you go, well, it's like saying you don't like movies,
yeah, yeah,
or I don't like music. It's
yeah,
like there's so much.
yeah,
Now, what was the next quote? Oh, 98% of users, this is no surprise, 98% of users, back to Trip Hawkins stuff, will download and try a game without ever spending any money.
yeah.
Um, Now, he then had a comment about Apple's recent privacy changes on the iTunes store. He said, I'm making it really hard to target the whales.
Yes.
So while they're targeting that 2% that are like
Give it
problem
spend money.
gamblers,
Yeah, yeah,
but apparently the recent changes Apple have made are making it very hard for devs to target that 2% effectively and try and
yeah.
make a
Right.
lot of them. Probably a good thing because the whole industry needs to be weaned off this idea that we just target whales,
Yes.
whereas we should
Yeah.
be trying to get more off the entire market and try
Yeah.
and make something everybody wants to pay for, not the people that have an addiction or an issue
Yeah.
pay for. There was a really good video by because I'm a big fan of the Jimquisition,
Yeah.
about how they boast video game devs boast their game's addictive now,
Yeah.
where they shouldn't boast something's addictive
Yeah. Yeah.
because that's actually a bad thing. But it's a good little
Yeah,
take on it, I thought.
I think addictive is a the word itself isn't great. Like if you've got like something like Helldivers, I can get addicted to Helldivers because the gameplay loop is phenomenal. I feel I'm rewarded for playing well. I know like there's a pathway to play well. It offers thrills, it offers excitement. I mean that can be addictive because the gameplay loop is solid. But if you're doing this basic Skinner boxy stuff of like,
Yeah, there's a difference between being addictive you enjoy doing or being addictive like a cigarette.
yes,
So,
correct,
like being addicted to, I like to have a Southern Comfort and Coke every so often. So,
yeah,
if there's there, I'll drink it. It's great, but I won't seek it out, right?
yeah, yeah,
Whereas a cigarette, you see smokers, they just have to.
yeah,
They
yeah,
just can't. Oh, I can give up anytime I want, but I can't, right? And video games should be less of option B and more of option A,
yeah,
where
correct,
if it's there and you like doing it, do it
yeah.
because it's fun, but not where you have to seek it
Seek
out
it, yeah,
because.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, what else he say? He said to
VR.
make.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Stop reading my notes.
Oh, it's all VR. Yeah,
Yeah, it stands for Vatican something. No,
yeah, yeah.
so he said to make $1 in a game with the 30% store charges, you need to actually charge $1.43.
Yeah, it makes sense with all the taxes
Yeah,
and
so he
stuff.
had a
Yeah.
little whinge about that, and he said something that I thought, before I get to the VR, he said something I thought was absolutely insane. He then went on to say that he believed that this is Trip Hawkins, and he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
Um, he then went on to say that
Trip
because
Hawkins
of
is Mr. 3DO, yeah?
yeah, this is why Matty G right now is just, listen to this with pants off. So he said browser gaming will become more attractive over the next couple of years to devs because there's no store charge. And if you get $1 out of somebody, you get that entire dollar. So he said if the
Uh,
extra 43 cents you have to charge
yeah,
is a 43%
yeah,
increase. Now I'm not on board with that, but that's his thing. I'd be interested.
yeah.
I
So,
can't see it, but
yeah, like I can definitely see that. I mean, it's kind of research. I mean, you see like itch.io and stuff like that where you've got all these like games and stuff that people play together, and when you got to really take it outside the lens of the Western world. So they'll play like basically like not Pictionary,
itch.io,
like
that's where I got some of my games. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, and so you'll see them, and it'll be like it's similar like Words with Friends or whatever. And it'll be like there'll be a drawing game, a Pictionary style game, and whatever. And a lot of that is all browser based. So the only thing you need is an internet browser and internet connection. Like and
So he's talking replacing basically using the browser as Steam.
yeah,
Because
see,
there are retro
yeah,
platforms, yes, that
but
will
we'll
you can
do
play
that.
the game
Yeah,
in
because they're so. I mean, it's like Doom runs in a browser. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
literally the memory. I mean, you only need 4 meg of memory to run Doom. So like, yeah,
yeah, still can't get over the Carmack reckon it wouldn't run on Amiga. Carmack, get stuff.
your mate, yeah.
I mean, you're a better programmer than me, I'll give you that, but get
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no,
It
I feel
runs on a
like
pregnancy test.
yeah, yeah. I feel like exactly that. Like I feel like you can look at it and go, yeah, like I can see where he's coming from. I don't think it's like anything. You know, when they talk about VR and they're like, an AR being the be all and end all, it's going to become the thing that changes the world. I'm never big on predicting what's going to change the world, but I can see the market share of it, especially in places like Philippines where Facebook dominates that market and stuff, where internet is such a weird situation with their providers and stuff like that. Having a browser-based game and not having that kind of
That's
thing.
interesting because I suppose I didn't think of that because at one point, probably 10 or 15 years ago, Facebook dominated
Yeah.
gaming with Farmville and that.
Well, you got to remember, nothing filled the void that Newgrounds had. Newgrounds had all those Flash games and Flash animations and stuff like that.
Well, Apple murdered Flash,
Yes.
so that people have to buy their app store.
Yeah.
Which
So
is a
yeah,
pity because
yeah,
I mean I didn't put it in here because I didn't think we'd have time, but sometime I want to talk about the maintaining games,
yeah, yeah.
the
History,
gaming archive,
archiving. Yeah, yeah,
because Flash comes into that where all those Flash games are just gone, and
yeah,
heaps of people remember them very fondly. But yes,
yeah.
but that was browser gaming. Anyway, Trip Hawkins reckons browser gaming is going to make a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, I can
Browser-based
see
gaming.
it. Yeah, I can see
Simply because the 30% store charge, and nobody gives a shit what Epic
it.
charges
Yeah,
because nobody
no,
buys a
that's
game
what
on
I think.
Epic.
Yeah,
Because in his view, he said basically 43% because you have to charge $1.43 to
because
make a dollar because of the 30% because that's how they work
Tarkov
different
you
ways.
can't buy on any other thing except on Thing, isn't it? Yeah, you can
Thing.
only buy Escape from Tarkov. You don't think you can buy it on Steam. Yeah, you can only purchase it from them.
When we at Tokyo Game Show last year,
Yeah,
a year before this one, me and my boy will walk around just around the back of the hall, and a
yeah,
bunch of Escape from Tarkov cosplayers walked in,
yeah.
and it looked like in a movie, and it's like some Russian
Yeah,
cinema, and
remember no Russian. Yeah, yeah,
we, we froze for a moment
yeah,
and just watched like about 30 guys walk in dressed up in
yeah.
Escape from Tarkov full on cosplay,
But yeah,
and it was the weirdest thing I've ever watched. I'm thinking,
you can only buy Tarkov from the Tarkov site. Like, there's no other way in, and they very rarely discounted all that kind of stuff.
Okay, maybe I
Yeah,
shouldn't be so quick to dismiss Trip
yeah.
Hawkins. I mean, mind you, look,
Studio,
the
yeah.
guy's clearly okay. 3DO didn't take off, but it was a great idea. Mind you, he's been at EA and stuff like that. He's
Well,
been,
3DO was the first console to have Road Rash, wasn't it? And
uh,
Need for Speed.
yeah. Don't say too much. Maddie can only take so much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still think Road Rash. No one has done a Road Rash spiritual successor correctly, and I feel like that's such an open market. I'll tell you a story about that offline actually with local EA. But yeah,
What you actually did right a moment. Anyway, so
yeah, 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 yeah.
last thing he said was VR. He doesn't believe VR is going to work at all, and reason is he said it's not convenient for consumers. Consumers will always choose convenience
Yes.
over not convenience. Oh, well, I can't read the word I
Inconvenience.
wrote.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea that's why mobile gaming
Yeah.
became so big. It's just convenient. That's the path of least
I
resistance thing,
agree.
which is a very
Completely agree. Yeah.
fundamental concept.
That's why
Um,
consoles still exist. Whether I mean PC gaming is the better experience, but the mustard race can keep it. Like I can just turn on my Xbox and play games. You know. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, his thing was and that's probably going to the browser thing because that's the past. That's the most convenient thing for devs if they're
Yeah.
not charging money. So anyway, some interesting thoughts from Trip Hawkins. Like throwing a industry heavyweight to agree with or disagree with, and
Yeah.
that's that one. Anyway, so I'm out of news.
Yeah. I think
What do you
that's
got? You got anything to add?
no, nothing much.
Anything spooky?
No, no.
No?
We have got a Halloween glitch, but this will be up before that comes
The
out.
real
Yeah.
spooky
There's no
days, the
this
5th. It's
this
exciting.
this will come out afterwards. Yes, we do have an interesting day on the 5th of
Gonna be
November.
exciting.
Remember the 5th
I don't think
November.
it. I think honestly, I don't think it matters. I think really, it's just going to be where the war starts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be
Yeah, 'cause
interesting.
it's
So
first Tuesday in November, isn't it? That's usually the
yeah,
day.
yeah, that's when
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I feel
Guy
like
Fawkes Day.
yeah,
That's a
well,
good
that's
day.
what I thought it was. That's
Yeah,
what I said. Remember. Yeah.
yeah. No, Guy Fawkes Day. That was my dad's birthday.
Nice. There you go.
So yeah,
Good.
that'll.
That's a good Irish birthday. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, good Irishman. Yeah, no, it's
The Catholics blowing up
right.
Parliament House. Yeah.
Imagine if he did, but didn't he get betrayed by a friend?
He did.
Yeah, or friend, friend.
Yeah.
And didn't they skin him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made sure they knew. So,
Yeah. So anyway, I can buy a Guy Fawkes mask now. But apparently the company that owns the company that makes those Guy Fawkes anonymous masks,
yeah.
owned by Murdoch.
Yeah. Well, Warner Brothers were doing most of them for a while there as well. So.
Well, that's another evil
Yeah.
bastard. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
On that note, yeah, let's wrap it up. I think that's
Oh yeah.
it. Yeah, we've got a few things for the end of the year.
Spooky.
We'll probably start doing our game of the year stuff now. And start
Oh,
formulating.
what's your choice? Let me guess. I write an
It's gonna be
envelope
it's
and
pretty tough.
do
Like,
it like
yeah,
house style. I write it
yeah,
down
yeah,
and see if anyone can work it out.
yeah. The winner of my game of the year is Lupus. Uh,
They're gonna make you run 10 tests
yeah,
first
yeah,
and
yeah.
kill the person 3 times. Then
Well,
it's
yeah. It was funny. There was the one time it was lupus. Oh, it actually was lupus. There you go. But yeah, no. So we do have some events coming up as well. Couch Rose Cross Up. We've got Miku After Party for Glitch on the 22nd of November if you're in Melbourne.
that's a blue-headed anime thing.
It is, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
cool.
And then we'll do one for Christmas and maybe Christmas Eve, and then yeah, I'm off to Japan in late January.
Off again. Oh,
Yeah,
there
you
you
know how
go.
it goes. Yeah, so I'm going for my 40th.
Oh,
So gonna spend my
oh yeah,
40th
your
over there.
birthday thing. Yes, yes.
You're welcome to join if you'd like, but yeah, it's gonna be lots of up late night drinking and stuff. So you know how that goes.
I only just finished paying off my last trip.
That's true, you did. You're clear with me now. You're settled.
We got to the last week. We got to the last week, and the kids are going, "Let's go to the Pokemon shop again." I'm looking at the bank balance, going, "Oh." They go, "Let's go Pokemon. Let's go Pokemon." Oh fuck. let's do unspeakable things to the credit card.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, it's fun.
anything on your end, or that's it?
Nah, I'm just going to keep playing a few more retro. I'm just really liking the retro games. They're good because for when you're old like me, you can pick them up, play for 5 minutes, done.
Put them down.
Play a
Yeah.
bit of Galaga, play a bit of Galia. Yeah,
I
done.
still do that every so often. I'll chuck on NBA Jam or a Galaga or a Pac-Man CE DX. Just
Yeah,
play around with it and then just go back to whatever I was doing. It's a
yeah,
palate cleanse.
because you don't have to commute heap of time, and yeah, in my age with family and work and that, I think that's why retro gaming is so popular with people
Yeah.
my age, because you can play it for 5 or 10 minutes, or even a couple of hours, but you're not like if you pick up a Starfield, right? You can't just pick it up 5 minutes and
Yeah.
stop. You've got to do and you also get sucked in. It's Skinner boxes you. You got to do this and that
Yeah.
other thing.
Yeah.
So I've been meaning to play a bit of Starfield because I love Fallout and that so much. But I think that's why retro is so popular with old people, and
Yeah.
we'll be playing more of that.
Yeah, no worries. Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up. NewGamePlus.tv, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, New Game Plus TV. And we will see you next week.